just got a chance to really sit down and think of what I was going to say about the premiere of The Walking Dead. Um, I I don't really get a chance to watch TV shows at a certain time whenever they're first coming on because I work third shifts, and that doesn't really work out too well with a show that comes on during the night. But yeah, this episode, I was first of all, Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Negan. Jeffrey Dean Negan was amazing. He is. I'm so glad he kind of took control of this episode. They couldn't have picked anyone better unless it was Javier Bardem. Javier. Yeah, the dude from No Country for Old Men. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan is an exceptional Negan. That being said, he portrays the violence that needed to be put into that character extremely well. Extremely well. As you've seen from the dispatching of Abraham and Glenn. Now, when Abraham, met Lucille, I thought everyone else was safe. I thought that was it. And I was kind of disappointed. Don't get me wrong, I love Abraham. I love his little catchphrases. But then Daryl decides to step up. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan, or Negan, put that violence to use. And he let Lucille loose on someone else. And that someone else was Glenn. Which, if you read the comics, you knew it was coming. Maybe, because they've changed a few things a lot in the TV show. And Glenn, whenever Glenn got it, that was bad. That I haven't seen anything that bad since something from Ash vs. Evil Dead. This was bad. And what was so bad about it was how graphic and almost realistic it was. His head was just in. It was like a deflated portion of a basketball. The most depressing part about it was him still having a conversation, a few words with Maggie. At this time, though, I couldn't help but think at how Jeffrey Dean Morgan was playing that character of Negan. He was so good. He says, "I just popped your skull so hard, your eyeball popped out of your head, and it's gross as shit." Like straight out of the comics, and that's how I would imagine Negan in the comics saying that, and at a point, like after the shock and awe of everything had been kind of dissipated for a little bit, I kind of laughed at how Negan had said that, just because it was played so well. But when Glenn got hit, now another part about being played well was Glenn trying to speak. That was rough to watch. I've seen videos on YouTube of people having traumatic accidents and what the body does, how people try to talk after a head injury. And it was so close to reality, it was kind of sickening to watch that. Like, he couldn't get his words out. They did really well with this. I remember watching the episode, shaking. I don't know. I couldn't tell. I think I was in shock with everyone else in the group, but it was something else for The Walking Dead. And to be honest with you, I kind of didn't care much for it after the last few seasons I was getting a little bored with it, because that is pretty much all they did was walk, walk, walk. Find a new location, stay there, fight somebody, walk, walk, walk. That's all it was. But now, I'm very interested to see how this goes, especially since Rick will probably not be in any control for a while. The way Andrew Lincoln portrayed that character, it was also, seeing Rick like at a point of vulnerability. That's something you don't normally see with Rick. He had so much confidence, and then he blubbered. He blubbered hard like a baby. I don't blame him. I would too if I was about to cut my own son's arm off. You know, this episode was probably one of my favorites from the series. Definitely, great episode. A few spoilers, like I should have warned you before. I probably will whenever I edit this video about some spoilers if you haven't seen the episode. But I'd say about 20 to 30 million people have watched it, so it's probably out there in the open now. Anyways, yeah, check out more of my reviews, and hopefully reactions, post reactions. Don't have the equipment, and I'm kind of liking this whole straight, raw to the floor reviews and reactions to things. It's kind of like a vlog about anything and everything. So yeah, check them out.